Hey, Connecticut. This is the best article I can find to describe Connecticut's Communist Party ties and the long-standing relationships they've had with Joelle Fishman and quite a long list of known communists that support an effort to undermine the U.S. Constitution and everything that it stands for. So if we're the Constitution state, we have a duty to protect the Constitution from these people, including Senator Murphy, Senator Blumenthal, all 5 of our congressmen, our governor. Look at some of the historical documents here, and you will understand better what's going on. So here we go. If you follow this article and play this video,
Hi, welcome to the US Peace Council, which is affiliated to the World Peace Council, which is a Soviet front. It works as now controlled largely by Cuban and Greek communists, but is one of the main world communist front.
This party as a team during the upsurge of the 1960s to end white supremacy, the war against Vietnam, and win union rights. In the Communist Party, I found a home that not only struggles day to day, but has a vision for a better future. The brutality of Trumpism threatens to turn back all the rights fought for and won during the freedom struggle so far. That's why I'm proud to be all in with the Communist Party to organize a massive and united voter turnout in the historic 2020 elections. The time is now to end exploitation and structural racism.
Well, let me tell you, folks, this is propaganda, and it's twisting the truth. In Connecticut, we had a murder, the Stephen Barrier murder, far worse than the George Floyd murder, okay? Far worse. And what happened? It was spun by our media. The storyline was fabricated, the body cam evidence was falsified, and a kid was tortured to death. So if the Democrats really support what they're saying, okay, they will need libertarians and conservatives to bring back the rights that have been stolen by the AFLCIOs of the world and all the organizations that have a spin on reality, okay, and the connections to our 5 congressmen, our 2 senators, and look at the relationships that our governor has with the Soviet Union. Keep in mind, there's plenty of articles to talk about it, and we should talk about it right now. So let's do that. Let me go to, for example, this article. If you read it, you can see Lamont had an uncle, okay? Corliss Lamont was a national chairman of the Friends of the Soviet Russia and former director of GASP, the American Civil Liberties Union, long financed by communists and dedicated to Marxism, while in the United States seeking to impose socialism and atheism on American people. Now, there are a lot of religious people in the state of Connecticut. I don't think that they are willingly becoming atheists, but Lamont chaired the National Emergency Civil Liberties Committee for 30 years. This is Corliss Lamont, the governor's uncle. When the governor defeated Senator Joseph Lieberman for the Democratic nomination to run for Senate in 2006, he was supported by Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, and a number of other party members. The Communist Party, okay, right here, endorsed Lamont, knowing that he can make a positive contribution towards changing control and the direction of Congress. Keep talking. When you go down, you will see the Ludin piece right here from the Epoch Times insists there's Russian collusion by card-carrying members of the Communist Party. The fact that Murphy served on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee is troubling. The fact that the treatment of the Uyghurs in communist China and the fact that they do nothing about genocide, raises an important question. Okay, now Maxwell Goldman right here worked for Senator Murphy in his office, and he was a senior research assistant. Here we go. Goldman briefly left to serve as a field director of Friends of Elizabeth Esty, who was a Congress lady, whose seat was taken over by Hayes. And when you look at the conventions and you look at CPUSA, you can see the Communist Party and the U.S. National Convention in Chicago has connected to the Connecticut SEIU, a heavily Communist Party USA influenced labor union. Okay, so the fact that the articles demonstrate, now for example, here's an article. It says that the Democratic Socialists make history in Hamden. A full slate of socialists recently won election in Hamden, November 20th, is this article. Here are the three people, Justin Farmer, Mariam Khan, and Abdul Razak Osmanu, all campaigned together and won. Here we go. Osmanu is a first term on the council, of Hamden. And they won at age 19. He's the youngest leader to serve on Hamden's council and board of ed. So, here they are, sworn in. Connecticut's first socialist slate in 60 years. You can read about it. And here's the Connecticut Facebook Alliance for Retired Americans. This is who Blumenthal affiliates himself with. Here we go. Here's the AFL-CIO website. Here's another one, dedicated to Richard Blumenthal. The AFL-CIO opposed the nomination of Judy Shelton to the Federal Reserve Board. However, they fully endorse Senator Richard Blumenthal. They fund him through Act Blue. They support him through BLM and Antifa in Connecticut. And he, in return, also supports them. After all, BLM, that supports the Barrier family, received money from Lamont through Tong, at the request of Tong, to pay off all the parties involved in the murder of Stephen Barrier. So, if you want to debate that topic, great. I'd be happy to debate it. We have all the facts. It's a very important piece of the puzzle demonstrating that our senators, support Congressman Himes' Russian collusion story, supported Comey, who ran the Connecticut FBI, unanimously voted in by the U.S. Senate to run the Hillary Clinton email investigation, A. And now Comey blames Himes for the Russian collusion story. So for 3 years, I went to the Himes public meet and greets. For 3 years, he told me he had evidence of the Russian collusion on behalf of Trump. And as it turns out, it is Senator Murphy, who threatened Ukraine after taking a bribe from Leitner, and Blumenthal as well got paid by Burisma's lobbyists to vote during the vote to impeach Trump. as an impartial juror, they were paid. Look at what happened with OxyContin. They were paid. Look what happened with now Philip Morris. Oh, well, that's what's going on with 5G as we speak. 5G has health effects. It causes cancer. The limit for nanowatt technology in Poland and Russia is 10 microwatts of Wi-Fi. If the limit is 10, because 12 causes cancer and infertility in Connecticut, children in kindergartens, okay, that have Wi-Fi, those laptops send and receive dangerous cancer radiation, RF radiation, radio frequency radiation. I ask you, why did 17 firms in 5G write checks to Richard Blumenthal after the Senate hearing where he cross-examined them and they decided and determined that there has been no health effects of radiation due to 5G, when we know that is false? I'll tell you why. Because when Poland and Russia set the limit to 10 nanowatts, Connecticut set the limit to 600. 600 will ruin your immune response, cause brain cancer, cause all types of ailments. And these are risk factors we can't afford to take. We can have 5G, but we can't have it the way it's currently structured by Bob Duffett, Senate Majority Leader of the Connecticut Senate. So I'm trying to demonstrate here, folks, and it's easy to do if you read these articles, that Norwalk had a long history. Let's go to that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Norwalk's history. Communist Party ties, Communist Party ties. I'll have to find the article that is right here. Hold on. Here we go. Let's take a look at this. This is the Communist Party of Connecticut in 1947, who voted in a socialist to be mayor of Norwalk, the third city in America of all time to vote in a socialist freeze by unanimous pretty much vote. And he became the third socialist of all time as a mayor in a U.S. city. And here we go. Jasper McGleeby of Bridgeport has been in office for 14 years. Last week, and Irving Fries, 44, became the nation's third socialist mayor. There's his picture. So Connecticut has a long history of socialism, ties to every socialist leader, and is backed by the Communist Party. And when you look at the congressional seats that our representatives hold, like, for example, Jim Himes on the Intelligence Committee is sitting there with propaganda saying there's election evidence of Trump's collusion with Russia, which is false, because he has none. Neither did Mueller find any. So, looking at DeLauro, who is the third-ranked Democrat in the United States, working for Pelosi, appointing people to position like AOC, and then appointing Jim Himes to oversee AOC, looking at Larson and Courtney's assignments, working with Electric Boat, Courtney being a submarine expert. He's the wrong person to be overseeing our critical defense policy in Connecticut. And what do? Well, we have Electric Boat. We have Sikorsky. We have numerous contractors in Connecticut that are funneling to DeLauro and Himes, socialists. Why? Because they're appointed and have prominent positions in Congress. And look at Senator Blumenthal. 1,042 bills. Yes, he wrote the Iran deal. Yes, he wrote the deal paying terrorists so they won't blow us up with our own uranium-1 they bought from Hillary Clinton, who went to college with Blumenthal, okay? Let alone Bill Clinton's uranium-1 deal. We have the Rostec deal to be looking at. Very few people speak about it. We have the K container ship deal, where truck beds lined with ICBMs could be driven from Cape Canaveral Airport throughout the entire country on the back of trains, on the back of trucks. And these weapons are already here. That article's from 2017. 4 years ago, we were warned about that. What happened? What happened to the warning about the HFA plants, the 48 Al-Qaeda targets in America who are owned by the Carlyle Group of Wilton, Connecticut, the Tesoro Petroleum of Greenwich, Connecticut, Tosco Petroleum of Stamford, Connecticut, and look at the O'Malley Group in Greenwich, Connecticut. How many Al-Qaeda HFA targets are being allowed to operate in Connecticut, the insurance capital of the world, with no insurance? With no insurance. I say to you folks, there is a problem in Connecticut, and it's not a simple one-word answer. So this is an answer to Doug. Hey, Doug, it's not a simple one-word answer, okay? It's a complicated thing that can't be answered in 5 minutes. So here's my 17-minute attempt to answer a question in 5 minutes, which can't be done due to the number of problems. And HFA is our biggest problem next to the K container ship issue, both housed in Connecticut. Carlisle is in Wilton, Connecticut, folks. Yeah, we have insurance companies and hedge funds buying gas petroleum unleaded processing plants with no insurance, not that they could ever pay the claim. 48 plants have $4 trillion in risk each. 4 million deaths each. That's the projected death toll in the kill zone of our American. Corpus Christi, Texas has 12. Philadelphia has 2. They're scattered across the United States. Look at the risks we have, who's in charge, and who's pulling the strings. Look at Connecticut as the reason for most of these problems due to the bribery, for example, of OxyContin. They can justify 220 people dying per day as long as they get paid. That is, the Connecticut DNC. So I'm at 19 minutes now. I dare Doug Deckert to answer this question in 5 minutes. It's practically impossible, folks. So my attempt at 20 minutes will be boiled down to 5 minutes. But here we are, 19 minutes and 20 seconds. I just have an important call to take. He's rang twice during this conversation. So thank you very much. Flynn 2022, I need small contributions to flynn2022ussenate.com. You can send me an email at johnflynn4ussenate@yahoo.com. But please, let's get the ball rolling. Let's set up events. Let's talk to the constituents. Let's find out where Blumenthal and Murphy have dropped the ball. And let's write a concise statement, which is the next thing coming up, which is our press release of how we're doing and where we're at currently. And let's get the GOP and the other parties behind the only salvation we have here in Connecticut is to salvage a Senate seat. It's coming up in November 2022. We need all hands on deck. We are right now facing a storm that we cannot weather, and we have a great group of about 30 people now dedicated to moving this forward. So thank you very much, and I'll see you all soon. Please invite me. I will be there.